Enough of all that success talk. Let's get back to more familiar territory now and relive the lows of Welsh sport in 2002.
Yes, because tucked away amongst all the tales of achievement and harmony, there was an impressive collection of catastrophes and cock-ups, which made sure that some of us came to the end of the year with a slightly more realistic view of life.
On his own, Ronan O'Gara brings up the 50 for Ireland. Humiliation just grows for Wales and Ireland.
The year started with a Dublin drubbing in Wales's opening Six Nations game, posing questions for the management that even the great Redeemer couldn't answer.
The decision reached jointly by the Union's General Committee and Graham Henry to agree to bring to an end his role as the national coach of Wales was indeed a difficult one. And
although the ship was steadied with Hansen at the helm, the game in Wales was still sailing in choppy waters.
I'm sorry, but we can't give you access today.
Internal fighting and the threatened player strike meant that off-the-pitch stories frequently made the headlines.
Our only aim has to be to try and secure the long-term future for the game in Wales.
And the year saw two big-name international rugby retirements. Llanelli experienced the biggest rugby disappointment of the year when a long-range penalty denied them a place in the Heineken Cup final again.
I can remember my whole sort of body just collapse when that kick went over eventually, after bouncing off about the post about 8 times. It was just absolutely devastating.
Swansea's off-the-pitch power struggle dominated the football lows. Remember Tony Petty? Cardiff's push for First Division status faltered in the playoffs.
Losing at the playoffs is probably one of the toughest things to sort of face. And I did have a husband who was moping around the house for weeks after that.
The cricketing low point of 2002 was the end of Simon Jones's Ashes tour on the first day of the first test. There weren't any prizes for sixth as Ewan Thomas's comeback faltered, and although there was for second in the Commonwealth Games 4x400 metres, gold would have been so much better. And this wouldn't have been the sort of outdoor swan song Colin Jackson had in mind when he announced his retirement.
I think if you sort of looked at that as a one-off race, then yes, it might be disappointing. If you look at it as sort of one race within his whole career, then he has had an absolutely fantastic and amazing career.
Tudo que quiser tem que entender. Quando jogou fora, tudo acabou.
So there were some real lows 2002, and a few of your predictions proved right.
Yeah, unfortunately all the lows were in the rugby really, weren't there? It's been a desperate year for the Welsh rugby team and for Welsh rugby in general. I think we've almost become the laughing stock of Northern Hemisphere rugby, both on and off the field. I mean, there are signs that things are changing there, but, you know, with Graham Henry's demise and the sort of record losses to Ireland and record losses at home, it's been very, very disappointing, and I think that, you know, we really need to grasp the nettle now very quickly in the next 12 months, otherwise rugby, unfortunately, could slip so far down the pecking order, it could be behind football. The shining light now is David Moffat, who's come in and, you know, he's really stirred things up. We needed a quality professional administrator to pull all these different threads together, and he is showing signs that, you know, he's got the backbone, the confidence and the nous to do all of that, and I'm pinning all my hopes on him for the next year.
Let's pin your hopes on somebody. And of course you can do a bit of gloating because Welsh football is so much better, but there were low points there as well.
Well, one of my predictions was Graham Henry would go. I'm not sure that's a low point, is it? I think that should have been in the high point, to be honest, for Welsh rugby, but yeah, the Welsh football had some lows. Swansea City situation in particular was a very low point for everybody connected with that club. They had the Petty saga, then you had Cusack taking over, now Brian Flynn's in there looking for stability. Obviously Cardiff City, I think losing in the playoffs was a low point, but the fact they actually got there from where they started when Lenny Lawrence took over was sort of a success as well as accepting a low point. My biggest satisfaction of last year was the farce that is now Welsh rugby, because it can only help football.
You've really got to keep preaching, haven't you? Really, really have got to.
Well, look at the man, he's depressed and his shoulders are down, he's coming here.
The Christmas spirit.
Yeah, I've enjoyed the success of Welsh football while he's enjoyed the sort of misery of Welsh rugby. That's the difference.
Well, I haven't. Yeah. See, I've enjoyed success of Welsh football. I can't remember enjoying any success of Welsh rugby.
Well, Mystic Meg is reported to be nervous about her job after last year's near-perfect predictions from Mike and Mark. But can they do it again? Here are the Hall and Hazelwood top tips for 2003.
Welsh successes for 2003. Pontypridd Rugby Club to keep it going, and the Millennium Stadium pitch to finally get some grass. And on the player front, Gareth Cooper, the Bath number 9, is going to make an impressive comeback.
My success story for 2003 is an obvious one, Cardiff City to win promotion. I think they will continue to go from strength to strength and then get better and better under Lenny Lawrence.
Failure for 2003, well, they've been failing for a long time and they're going to continue next year. WRU committee finally to disappear.
My failure for 2003 is David Moffat and Provincial Rugby. I think both of them have no chance whatsoever.
Surprise package, well, it's not a player, but I think it's the best signing in Welsh rugby. David Moffat, the new group chief executive, is going to make some big differences.
My surprise package for 2003 is that Italy will finish third in the qualifying group and Ryan Giggs will leave Manchester United.
And that's it from everybody on the 2W Sport team. Have a very happy Christmas and a successful sporting New Year.
We're going to leave you with a small selection of our ones to watch in 2003. See you soon.